Hello guys, this is Ishmael. In this tutorial, we are going to take a look at how to build an e-commerce store with Ecwid Web Builder version 14 using Ecwid set of tools. Now, the Ecwid set of tools is an extension that you have to install first before it becomes available in your toolbox. If I come to my toolbox, I don't currently have it available. So I'm going to go ahead to install it from my extension manager. So I'm going to come to my extension manager under tools, and then I'll click on OK on this particular notice, and then I'm going to go to all under online gallery, and then it is going to give me the chance to load all the extensions which are available to be installed. So I'm going to go ahead to search for Ecwid, and then I'm going to go ahead to install it on my system. So this extension is going to be installed, and then the Ecwid set of extensions or tools becomes available in my Ecwid Web Builder version 14. Now you can follow through using version 12 with this tutorial, and everything should work perfectly well as well. So my extension is installed. I'm going to go ahead to close this, and then I'm going to locate it in my toolbox. So I come to the very bottom, and as you can see, I have my Ecwid set of extensions installed here. Now there are a couple of options available to it. We have the horizontal categories, we have language, we have the mini cart, we have the product browser, as well as we have the search, and then the vertical categories. Now I'll be working with a couple of these one. That is, I'll be working with the search, as well as I'll be working with the mini cart and then the product browser. Now using the Ecwid set of tools, there are a couple of options available to you, whether to use layers or to use layout grid. Now I'm going to use layout grid in this tutorial. Before then, I'm going to use layers so that I show you the reason why layers wouldn't be a best fit for using the Ecwid set of tools in Ecwid Web Builder version either 14 or 12. Now to show you what I mean, I'm going to get started here by bringing in a layer. So I click on the layer, and then I'm going to draw here. Let me just come to view, and then make sure I have object outline showing so I can see this. I'm going to expand this a bit, and then I'm going to come to my tools under the Ecwid set of tools. Let me just come to Ecwid section. I'm going to click on my product browser, and then I'm going to draw in here. I'm going to go ahead and then expand this a bit so that it fits in my layer I have in here. I'm going to make sure this is positioned in the center, that is on both section, that's vertical and horizontally. And then I'm going to go ahead and then center this. I'm going to right click, go to page properties, and then I'm going to set the alignment to center horizontally, and then let me just make sure I center the layer as well. So I'm going to change the alignment to center, and then I'll go ahead and hit on OK. Now when I double click on the Ecwid set of tools, there are a couple of options available here. Now what is very important at this state has to do with the Ecwid ID. Now let's go to our browser and then get our Ecwid ID. So I have my browser open here. I'm going to go to ecwid.com. I already have a demo account with Ecwid, so I'm going to log in to my demo account, and then I'll use that in my Ecwid set of tools in Ecwid Web Builder. So I'm going to come to login, and then I'll go ahead and log in into my account. So as you can see, I have my account here. I have logged in into my account, and then what I'm going to need has to do with my ID. Now when I scroll to the very bottom, you see store ID here. Also, when you take a look at the link in the browser, at this section you see my store ID here. So all I'm going to do is to copy this particular number, or copy this one, which is the same thing, and then I'll come back to my Ecwid Web Builder version 14, and then I'm going to paste that in my Ecwid ID here. So when I go ahead and paste this, I'll go ahead and then hit on OK, or I can go through the options I have in here. But I think I'm fine with the options I have here, so I'll go ahead and hit on OK. Now my store has already been configured in Ecwid or on Ecwid website, so I don't really have anything more to do. So all I have to do is to preview my project. So I'm going to go ahead to hit on the preview icon here, and this is going to load in my browser so that I see how my store is going to look like. Now the reason or the issue behind using layers is that anytime you build your store and it has a lot of pages, you end up getting some kind of a scroll bar in here, which isn't really the best option or isn't really a good fit. Now we can get rid of this particular scroll bar here by using layout grid. So that is why I would choose to use layout grid as compared to using layers in building my Ecwid store. So I'm going to get rid of my layer here, and then I'm going to use layout grid. But before then, I'm going to create a master page which is going to have my header and then my footer. So I'm going to come to my project, and then I'm going to create new. I just name this master page. And then on my master page, I'll need a page header. So I'll come to my blocks, and then I'm going to select a page header since I already have some predefined headers built here. So let me just scroll up a bit. Let me go to the header section, and then I'll select one of the headers. I'll select on this, and then I'll use that here. Now I'll lead a content placeholder. So I'll come to my toolbox, search for a content placeholder, and then I'll draw that in here. Now because I'm using layout grid, I'm going to double click on my content placeholder, and then I'm going to change the overflow from expand to floating, and then I'll hit an OK. So this is going to be working with my layout grid. I'll come back to my blocks, and then I'll go to the footer section, so I get a footer I'll be using in here. So let me just click on this, and I move that here. Now because my page width is 7, that is 970 pixels, I'm going to double click on this and change that is a maximum width from the space, the empty space there, to 970 pixels. I'll go ahead and hit an OK. Now let me just go ahead and preview this in my browser and see if it's actually giving me what I need. So as you can see, I have that showing here. Now there isn't any space because I haven't brought any content there. So let's come back to our web builder, and then I'm going to go to the index page. Now let me just move this Ecwid tools a bit to the right, and then I'm going to get started with my layout grid. So I'll come to my toolbox, search for layout grid, I click on that, and then I draw in here. Now this by default comes with 2 columns. I can go ahead and create more columns. Now because I'll be using a different set of Ecwid tools here, that is, I'll be using the search as well as minicut. So let me just click on the search. I'll draw here. Let me come back to the tools, and then I'll click on minicut. Let me just come back here, click on minicut, and then draw in here. So I have my minicut. Now I'm going to expand this a bit to get a size of my shopping bag here. So this is fine. And then I'm going to move that into my right hand side of my layout grid, and I'm going to double click on this and set the alignment to the right side, and then I'll go ahead and hit an OK. I'll move my search to the left hand side. Let me just go ahead and expand this a bit, and then I'll make sure, let me just get my toolbox, come here, look for the layout grid. So I'm just going to draw here. I'm going to double click on this, get rid of my column, and make sure I have only one column. I'll go ahead and hit an OK, and then I'm going to move this particular search into this, and then I'll move this into this. Now the reason is because I want to be able to make sure this moves down some few pixels so that it stays in the middle with a shopping bag. So I'm going to double click on this. I'll come to the padding top, and then I'll set this to, let's say, about 80. Let's see where that is going to take it. So that takes it very to the bottom. So let's come here and maybe set about 40, and then this takes us a bit above. Let's make this 50 and see. I think 50 is fine, so I'll be working with 50. And then let me just double click on this and make sure I set the maximum width to 970 pixels. So I'll go ahead and set this to 970, and then I'll go ahead and hit an OK. Now I'll come back to my toolbox, and then I'm going to bring layout grid again, because I would be using my Ecwid, that is a product browser, in my layout grid. And I'm going to go ahead to reduce the size of this, and then I'm going to double click on my layout grid. I'll first of all get rid of this column, and then I'll go ahead and hit an OK. I'm going to move this into my layout grid here. Now I'm going to double click on my layout grid again and set a couple of options. So I'm going to set the padding to the top to about 10, and then to the bottom to also about 10. So as you can see, I have my maximum width to be 970, and then the column height, I'm going to change this from auto to 100 VH, and then I'll make sure I change my overflow from none to hidden. I'll go ahead and hit an OK. Let's go ahead and preview this in our browser. We have a vertical scroll here because we haven't enabled one option in our Ecwid settings or Ecwid set of tools. So I'll come in here, I'll double click on my product browser, and when I come to the very bottom that says layout grid, and then I'm going to come to the full width section. When I come to the option, I have a couple of options in here. So this one is width should be 100% and then height should be auto. I want width to be 100%, height should be fixed. Width should be fixed, height should be auto. So based on the options here, one that suits you is what you're going to use. So I'm going to be using width to be fixed and then the height should be auto. The reason is because I want my width to be 970 pixels and I don't want it to exceed that. So I'll go ahead and then hit an OK. Let me preview this once more in my browser and see how that comes out. So as you can see, I have my page. Under normal circumstance, the size of my Ecwid shouldn't even get to this particular option or bring you this number of products. But because I'm using layout grid, as you can see, I have my store set here and I don't have any kind of overflow in here. Now I don't have this other options showing. Let me just come here and then take care of that. So I'm going to double click on this. First of all, get my store ID from here, copy this, and then I'm going to paste that here so that I can have my back showing there. I'm going to, when I come here, you see I also have an option for that is layout grid. I'm not going to change anything here. I think I'll leave this as it is. Let me just go ahead and hit an OK, and then with my search also, let me just paste my store ID here. I'll go ahead and hit an OK, and then I'm going to preview this once more in my browser. So I have my store search here, I have my product, that's shopping bag here. It doesn't really look good. Let me just come here and then maybe I think I can change some settings of it. So let me just take a look at this and see how this is going to be. So this is going to be auto. Let me change that to be 100% width. Let me just make it auto height or auto width. And then I'm going to repeat the process for the search as well. Let me just go ahead and preview this once more and see how that is going to look. It doesn't really make any difference, but anyway, you can play with the options available to it here. Let me just see this, and I'm going to change this to, let's just say this one. Let me go ahead and then preview this. It still doesn't really make any difference, but at the end of the day, you have a couple of options available with your Ecwid set of tools. I think why is this expanded? Let me just change this to false, and then go ahead and then reduce the size of this. I can increase the size of this to take away the overflow I was getting there. So let me just do that, and then let me just go ahead and preview this once more, and then I think it should be fine now. Okay, I have my shopping bag here. Now I can click on a product, it gives me the details. I can add to bag, and then when I come to bag, I can open my bag, and then as you can see, I have everything showing here. Because of I think my page header I use from the blog isn't really a best fit. That's how come I have this being run into it. So let me just come here, and I can easily get rid of that and then use something else. So let me just come to my tools. Maybe I can bring a layout grid here, and then I'll move it to the very top. So this is going to come here. Let me just change the style of it to a solid color. Let's see about black. I'll come back to the general, get rid of my layout, that is one column. I'll go ahead and hit an OK. Let me come to the toolbox and then maybe bring a navigation tool inside. So I'll come to the navigation set of tools. Maybe I can use a CSS menu here. So I'll just draw in here, and then I'll move this into my layout grid. Let me just reduce the height of it, and then let me come back to my index page, preview this, and see how that is going to be. So I have my, as you can see, I don't have this running into my header now. I can come back here and even set padding to the top for this. So this is going to be about 10, and then I'll go ahead and hit an OK. I can come to the master page and then change this from that is full to, let's say, 970 pixels, and then I'll go ahead and hit an OK. Let me just preview this once more and make sure everything is fine. And as you can see, this is staying within my 970 pixels frame. And then I have my shopping cart here. I can click on a product, it gives me the details. I can add to cart, and then I can open my bag, And then as you can see, I have everything showing here fine. So that is how to work with the Ecwid set of tools and Visual Beta version 14. You can do same in version 12 and it's going to be fine. And then my reason behind choosing layout grid over layers using Ecwid set of tools. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.